Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to A Better World with Adrian. Whether it is your first episode ever tuning in or you have listened from day one, back when I started this space in 2022, I am so grateful that you are here and I am so excited to be channeling on today's topic. The deep intention of A Better World with Adrian is that you tune in to be activated, you tune in for a breakthrough. This is the antidote to chaos, noise, and distraction, and a total drop in to the truth of your soul and the high performance and spiritual mastery that is going to keep you in the zone with the truth of your soul every single day unconditionally, no matter the external circumstance. So I am so excited to just be with you here today. We keep accelerating in birthing a better world, in birthing new earth, and this episode is very important because I want to go deep into what's happening with the coding of Atlantis. It's happening with our planet Earth. It's happening in each and every one of us, whether we realize it or not. And it is playing out in narratives, in either trauma bonding or trauma healing in every single soul in the whole planet right now. So I'm excited to share the timeline split that's happening right now, what you've got to know about it, and how you can access the one that is going to create miracles, your destiny, health, wealth, happiness, freedom, all of the quadrants of New Earth Elite. And most importantly, your deepest soul dreams that just so happen to be your contribution to a world we're proud of. Okay, before we drop into today's episode, two announcements, two ways that you can go deeper into working with me if you feel called to. Number one, I'm enrolling new one on one clients in spring 2026 into one on one Lux. This is my high proximity space for successful mavericks, visionaries, pioneers, founders, leaders from all over the globe. This is the Unicorn Transformation Bespoke portal you didn't even know you could manifest, where we combine high performance with spiritual mastery, healing, knowledge, and skill. You ride with me daily as your personal astrologer, nervous system reset, coach, shaman, energy worker, all the things. So if you are seeking a complete trajectory shift that most people will never understand because you are the 1% of the 1%, this space is for you. The link is in the show notes to apply. I would love to welcome you into the space if we are aligned. So if you feel called and you want to do one on one mentorship with me, apply through the link in the show notes right now. The other way that you can work with me that is approaching quickly is the Greece Atlantis New Earth activation happening in June 16th to the 21st on the islands. This is for 8 powerful souls from all around the world, an intimate cohort. We're spending 6 days together in grid work, land activation, adventure, deep healing portal, deep shamanic upgrades, studying and leveraging the astrology, like really getting crystal clear on the next level of your destiny. This is not a vacation. This is not a retreat. This is a pilgrimage. This is an activation. And we're going to talk all about the word activation today. So if you feel called to Greece, if you know you want to get in person with me on sacred land, and you know it's time for your soul pilgrimage in this frequency, go to the link in the show notes, apply right now. It's for 8 people. It's really, really intimate. And I literally am so excited. I cannot wait to welcome you. And I'm really curating an immense soul pad of people who are coming on this one of a kind experience. So link is in the show notes to apply. All right, today's episode. Let us call upon the altar. I have an orchid on the altar, bringing in the energy of spring, bringing in the energy of new beginnings. Okay. The altar is how we say thank you in advance to Creator, to Spirit, to God Source energy for whatever's coming through in this episode. We have two red roses on the altar, bringing forth the energy of Mars, bringing forth the energy of Aries, which is it's Aries when I am recording this episode, bringing forward passion, and it's two red roses because it represents the divine masculine and the divine feminine frequency we all have within each of us, and it takes both. This is the sacred architecture that has been widely rejected for centuries at this point, and we are in this ancient renaissance of really harmonizing and returning to the ancient codes as the authority in our lives, in our missions, in our destiny, in our soul purpose, and literally everything we do and how we create and how we live on our planet and how we advance humanity. And finally, I have a white candle, unscented, burning today. It's just purifying the space, calling in a clean, clear channel. My prayer before every single episode on A Better World with Adrienne, which is what makes us different than other podcasts. This is a transmission, okay? This is an energetic transmission as well as brain food, mindset. Like it is incredibly tangible and practical, and it's incredibly energetic. Something to know about the way I teach and the way my energy works is that literally when you hear my voice, it's a mutative process. It's a mutation because of the way my body is organized in this lifetime and the way that my channel works and the way that my voice works. My just being in my presence is a mutation, and a mutation is a change. It's a DNA cellular rapid change. So there's so much that happens just listening to the podcast, let alone us working together one on one or you coming to Greece. So this is a transmission, and the altar is how we say thank you in advance, and it's how we create the location for miracles. My prayer is, may I be a clean channel for a purpose greater than me every single time. And the white candle is bringing in fire energy. It's also bringing in this angelic, clean, clarifying frequency because there's so much chaos and there's so much darkness and distraction and bullshit out there that we really get to command and hold a clean, energetic, sovereign space for the podcast. Let us take two deep breaths to connect our energy. This is very Aquarius, combining technology with the technology of our breath, our life force energy, which is going to be even more important as we move forward in 2026, 2027, and beyond. So, no matter where you are, what you're doing, if you're at the gym, if you're driving, if you're sitting drinking a cup of tea, be here now. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. And you might even just shake out your arms. One more inhale through the nose. This time, hold at the top, open your crown chakra and your third eye, and decide to be open to the messages that Creator, God, Source, Spirit, the universe, the cosmos has for you right here, right now, today. Exhale out the mouth. The portal is open. We are connected. The grid of light that happens between every single soul that listens to this episode has been created. Let's drop in about Atlantis activation, the forced fall versus relentless rise. So I feel inspired to channel on this topic. It's a topic that's been coming up in a lot of my deep client work. I do high proximity work inside New Earth Elite, which is this movement of advanced souls who are here as spiritual endurance athletes to anchor and advance the mission of the light on our planet. And this is our Olympics, right? This is why we don't eat the way most people eat. We don't think the way most people think. We don't move the way most people move. Why? Because we are the elite spiritual endurance athletes for the light, stewarding our missions with divinity And it's been coming up in a lot of my high proximity one-on-one client spaces inside New Earth Elite. It's been coming up in conversations I've been having with collaborators and the big conversation around the whole intention of the Greece Atlantis activation in June on the islands. And, I just spent 10 days in LA. There's something that happens to me when I go to LA. And there's something that happens to me specifically when I go to LA for a soul activation. And to be quite honest with you, I don't go anywhere I travel full time. I have a home base in the US. I have a home base in Greece. I travel full time though, and I follow where I'm called. I go where the call is. Now, is my life going to be like this forever? I think yes. And, as things open up and I get homes and I start a family, I will have more grounded, like, hey, this is where I'm like setting up shop. And I'm really in this phase of my mission where I'm just getting called and I go. I know and I go, I know and I go, I know and I go. I don't go anywhere unless it's a soul activation, right? Everywhere I go, it's with the intention that I'm going to be activated in my soul. So I went to LA. I went to a 2-day immersion with my Kabbalah teacher, David, and I spent 10 days and I just was like immersed in my soul family there and just being around a lot of really successful pioneers, founders, people that inspire me, and getting in person with people like this that really activate me into a new level has been really important and continues to be important. And like, honestly, if you want to collapse time, first get a mentor that can help you go fast and get around people where you're not the most powerful person in the room. You've got to be around people that are more powerful than you in at least one area of life, right? If you are always the inspiring person, you're in the wrong room. Hands down. Hands down. So this conversation has been coming up and I keep like sharing with people. I'm like, well, do you know what's happening with the Atlantis split right now? Do you know what's happening with the Atlantis activation right now? And people in general don't know. And so I'm going to teach about it today and why this matters. Like, this matters because in New Earth Elite and a better world with the ancient codes is all about working with divine timing. Divine timing is not something, we use as a reason to delay action or something we wait around for and be in victim consciousness about or poverty consciousness about. Divine timing is very obvious when you study, when you are an energetic ninja, when you could read energy and you can leverage the energy, right? And strike when the cosmic iron is hot. For example, like when there's a ton of planets in retrograde, depending on your unique natal chart, you are going to take different actions. For me, my natal Mercury and Venus are retrograde. So when Mercury and Venus are in retrograde for the whole collective, it's actually an important time for me. And I manifest a lot during that time. I take a lot of action because the whole world is operating on quantum time, which is my natural timeline, right? When planets go direct, then it's more linear time and it's still fruitful for me, but it's different for me, right? And so there's not a one size fits all. There's the energy of the collective, there's the energy of your chart, there's the energy of how it works together. There's astrology, and then there's general energy, right? And this all matters because if you want to swim with the current and you want to be an active co-creator with the force of life, with God source, with the cosmos, with nature, with Mother Earth, with the rhythms of our planet and the rhythms of the sky and the rhythms of other influences, you have got to study and honor the energy. And this is what's happening in the energy right now. You've got to understand past lives. You've got to understand the context that's bigger than just this life. You've got to understand the mechanics of how this video game works and the mechanics of how your soul works and the energetic law of the universe. So a lot of people are like, I think especially a lot of really successful people, if you're already successful in the 3D plane, which if you're called to this work, you are. Um, the people that I work with and the people that I serve, you are incredibly successful and you are incredibly spiritual. It is the secret sauce. It is the intersection of greatness that is required. And honestly, most people never touch, let alone, expand on repeat, repeat, repeat. You have a ceiling on your success if you're only operating with human stuff. If you are not leveraging key energies, you're automatically swimming against the current. So, do you want to swim with the current of life or do you want to swim against the current, right? Do you want to work smarter or work harder? Do you want to be in frustration or, feeling bitter or feeling all of these low vibration themes as you chase your dreams, your destiny, everything you're here to do? Or do you want to feel like you're supported by the universe every single step of the way, every single step of the way? Now, are we always supported? Yes. Can you be way more supported when you move with the rhythms? For example, if it's winter, I'm not going to go out and plant a bunch of things and expect the flowers to bloom because it's winter. And yet, a lot of people do that. You might be doing that energetically because you don't know the energy, you don't understand the energy. So, why does this matter? Because this is a key element of you self-actualizing in this lifetime through the ancient codes in reverent, obedient action and alignment with the energetic waves. Okay, Atlantis activation. First, what is an activation? What's an activation? I am a living, breathing activation. This is what makes me an amazing mentor, an amazing healer, amazing coach. Now, have I refined a skill set? Yes. Do I have 15 plus years of experience holding potent, life-changing, safe, transformative space of high performance and deep alchemical nervous system transformation? Yes. And I'm an activator. And someone who activates you is different than someone who triggers you, right? Someone who triggers you is like, by the way, nobody can trigger us. We trigger ourselves. That's something I really want to share. A lot of people use the word trigger though, and trigger, I just don't identify with that word because it just promotes victim consciousness. When you're triggered, it's like, oh, this thing happened to me, blah, blah, blah. No. An activation is when something is awakened that's been dormant inside you. And an activation is a choice point. An activation is when something gets turned on or started or energized, right? So, an activation is literally when a part of you that's dormant, that's been inactive, gets reactivated. It gets turned on again, it gets ignited, it gets started. So, what's going on in the world right now with the Atlantis activation, specifically in 2026? It's been happening. It started having murmurings around 2020, and then it accelerated, 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 and in 2026, and it's in a whole new acceleration, especially with everything with AI. And what's happening with the Atlantis activation is that yours, mine, and every single person on the globe, our Atlantis coding is being activated. And it's being activated in such a way that there's two timelines, two paths that you can choose, and there's no in between, right? It's like if you want to learn more about this, I have a whole podcast that I recorded. It was either May, I think it was May 2020, 2025. It was after my first sit in this lifetime with ayahuasca, which by the way, I don't recommend ayahuasca, especially if you've never done a lot of deep breath work. I actually got invited to sit with ayahuasca over 40 times. I said no 39 times until number 40. And then it was aligned. And I said yes, and I got a lot from that experience. Um, but the episode is called Two Paths, One Choice. Two Paths, One Choice, No in Between, or something like that. It's really potent. So if you want more on this energy of like extremes, what's happening with the Atlantis activation right now is that your Atlantis coding is being awakened, a dormant part of you that is stored in yourselves from past lives in Atlantis is being awakened and it's activating your deepest cellular fears and your deepest cellular powers at the very same time. And understanding what's happening with this, and knowing what's happening with this, and understanding the trifecta of transformation, healing, knowledge, and skill. Understanding that your nervous system is the greatest weapon, either being used against you through your very own body or by you through your very own body as a portal, is going to set you on a trajectory of either the forced fall or relentless rise. New Earth Elite, the pioneers, the visionaries, the mavericks, the leaders in this movement, we are choosing relentless rise again and again and again and again. And I am holding the potent space for you to access the skill sets and be in the mystery school mastery of staying in this relentless rise no matter what happens in this Atlantis activation, because it's going to continue and it's going to accelerate and it's going to get more intense. The video game keeps leveling up. So, what does this mean? What is Atlantis? You might have heard of Atlantis. And if you're a Virgo or you're a skeptic, you might be like, Atlantis, I don't even know if that's real. Here's the thing: if you resonate with me and my work, you are coded with Atlantis. You've done past lives in Atlantis. Literally, I would not call you into my field. You would not feel soul resonance with this at all. You might have visceral rejection of it at first because it's touching a part of your power and your magic that you may have rejected for a while. You may have disowned for a while. And if this is you, I just want you to love yourself and stay in it, because your discomfort is exposing you to the wattage that you are really here to steward. What's happening a lot is that you're being called to come out of the spiritual closet. A lot of my really successful high net worth one-on-one Lux clients, they leverage astrology every single day to advance their cash flow, to advance their vision, to advance their mission, to get messages about what's coming in the collective. And like none of them lead with this because they want to be taken seriously on LinkedIn by investors, by other people, by other, entrepreneurs. And it's like, we're getting to a point where you've got to rip off the masks and really reveal, like, people want to know how you create long-term blessings. It's the ancient codes. People want to know, how are you collapsing time? It's the ancient codes. Your intuition. A lot of people ask me, like, what's your business strategy? I'm like, I leverage my nervous system. I leverage astrology. I honor my and obey my intuition instantly. That's my business strategy. Now, of course, do I have powerful people around me who know more about the 3D elements of business, specifically the masculine elements? Yes. And I get advice from them. I get guidance from them. They help me build structures. And with this Atlantis activation, it's really calling forth this part of you, of me, of all of us to expose our deepest magic. And like I said, the activation is your deepest cellular fear and your deepest cellular power at the very same time. It's the same exact thing. It's just, what are you going to choose and what are you going to feed? Now, Atlantis was a past civilization, kind of like Lemuria. And there are many, many past civilizations that we are connected to as, you know, channels of the light. Okay. It's not your first rodeo. It's not your first lifetime. We've all done multiple lifetimes. And if you're connected to me in this work, you're connected to Atlantis, you're connected to Lemuria, which was another ancient civilization. You're connected to probably a lot of elementals, a lot of star seeds. Now, if I was working with you one-on-one, I would be able to psychically know what you're connected to. My shaman name's White Star. I have a lot of angel coding. I'm very connected to Syrian elements, a lot of star seed, other galaxies, other planets, like, and really owning this part of yourself and using this part of yourself as a way to gain access and information to the quantum. And then you bring it down and anchor it down into the 3D by taking action on that information, right? So Atlantis was this ancient civilization of harmony. And it was very connected to Lemuria. The difference between Atlantis and Lemuria is that Atlantis was a very, very alien. It was still here on planet Earth. However, what happened with Atlantis and a lot of these ancient civilizations is that there was a massive fall. What does this mean? That there was a destruction of the civilization because of the errors of humans, where we chose instant gratification, we chose darkness, we chose the inorganic timelines of power, being power hungry, that disconnected us from the light, from love, from harmony, from bliss, from truth, from unconditional prosperity and unity consciousness, right? So, what happened in Atlantis, and a lot of this Atlantis energy, this is why it's called Greece Atlantis activation, because there are pieces of Atlantis that are in the Greek islands. When I was there last summer, for the first time ever in this lifetime, I was like, oh my God, this is so Atlantis. This is so Atlantis. I was getting activated in so many different ways, both in ways that were just like deeply joyful and also ways that were deeply painful and confronting. Like, and that's why I say it's not a vacation. Like, if you are looking for, oh, I just want to like book a trip to Mykonos and just like check out of my life. This is not a check out of your life moment. This is a deep soul checking in. We do a lot of deep alchemical cellular transformation, and some of it can be painful, right? Because in Atlantis, what happened was a lot of technology came online, a lot of new technology. And what's happening right now is everything with AI is connected to Atlantis. And there's nothing wrong with AI. And there's nothing wrong with the technology that happened in Atlantis. There's nothing wrong with robots. There's nothing wrong with self-driving cars. There's nothing wrong with any of this. Technology is amazing. And if we give our power to the technology, and we just want to advance and advance and advance and advance and go quick and quick and quick and quick and quick. We start disassociating. We disconnect from our intuition. We disconnect from our hearts. We disassociate from our human bodies, and we start choosing a robotic, inorganic timeline. What happened with this in Atlantis is that the scales tipped. The majority of people chose this power hungry, robotic, basically like self, what do I want to say? Like extracting life force and just not honoring the core of the human heart, which is love. And just, I want to go and I want to go, I want to go, and power hungry with the mind, that there was a collapse. And there was a collapse of the civilization, and many of us drowned in the ocean, and this civilization was buried underwater in the ocean. And it's said to be in different parts around the world. I believe it's scattered around the world. There are pieces in Hawaii. There's a larger presence of Lemuria in Hawaii, which is why I got called to go live there in 2023 and 2024. What's happening right now, though, like in Atlantis, we were in our light bodies. We were not in such a dense reality. We were we were more translucent, and we were more like kind of in between realms, in terms of like we were always operating as a bridge between the heavenly plane and the earthly plane. And now on planet Earth, most people are very in the density of the 3D reality. It's important to be in the 3D reality. You know, we incarnated to planet Earth to be 3D beings. Um, so what's happening right now in this Atlantis activation is the amount of fear mongering happening in the world. Everything with AI, everything with the wars that are happening on our planet. It's not about bypassing, it's not about pretending they're not happening. It's about acknowledging the truth of the situation and saying there's a deep Atlantis activation right now where your deep fears of repeating the fall are coming up. Like the same fears that led to the fall of Atlantis, where people chose the power hungry, mind driven, alien, non-human, separated, robotic timeline of power hunger is being presented to us. It's the road of instant gratification, where we abandon the core of the human essence, or we're in our relentless rise where we honor the human heart, we stay in the organic timeline, we use our technology, we stay rooted with the ancient codes, and we are in a relentless rise and we choose differently. I've said it many times, I will say it again. This lifetime will only be different when we choose differently. Okay. And so there's a major timeline split happening right now where it's like, are we going to choose the forced fall or are we going to choose the relentless rise? And what's being activated is this deep cellular fear. You're having a lot of fear come up because when Atlantis happened, by the way, it's not a limiting belief. Are there limiting beliefs that are playing out in our lives all the time? Yes. This is not a limiting belief though, because it's the cells of your body remember. And if you've been in this world for a while, you know this. If you're brand new, I'll say it again. Your DNA and your cells and your subconscious and your nervous system, which are all the same thing, by the way, they control 95% of your decisions. They hold past life memories, they hold the memories of your bloodline. So you're being called to step forward in your leadership as not going along with the masses, as not going into fear, and not choosing the robotic, power hungry timeline and choosing your magic, being openly powerful and magical, being a pioneer, being a maverick, being a leader, being a visionary, being misunderstood, being hated. You know who was fucking hated? Jesus was hated. He literally got murdered, okay? And I think about a lot of the powerful mavericks, and now am I saying, are you going to be murdered? No, I'm not saying you're going to be murdered. Am I saying that you have to be willing to die for your mission? Yes. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. Like, you're either in or out for your soul mission. And the thing about this, and you're like, wow, you might be like, wow, Adrian, that's extreme. It is extreme. It is extreme. It's an extreme time. And the thing is, the reason that you incarnated on this time is because you are part of this soul pad of New Earth elite. You are. And the way you join this movement is, get in my world, become my client, get in this work. This podcast will activate you. Okay. This podcast doesn't change your life. It's relentless action in the rise that changes your life. Beyond this podcast is where you go from information to integration, right? So you're being called to be openly magical and use that power for good and do it publicly. And it's probably terrifying to you because in Atlantis, if you didn't, there are a lot of us have had a lot of bad things happen to us in past lives when we were openly magical and powerful and spiritual. And that's not a limiting belief. It lives in your cells. And then also with the Atlantis activation happening right now, your body remembers, oh my God, I drowned the last time there was this acceleration of technology. That's why you are scared of AI. You're not actually scared of AI, you're scared of death. You're scared of the fall of the ancient civilization you once knew and loved, where we all prospered, being ripped away again, because that's very real. It did happen. So this is why the nervous system reset work we do is so powerful. This like AI boom technology advancement is really deeply visceral. And it's important for you to understand it's directly tied to Atlantis. It's directly tied to Pluto and Aquarius. It's directly tied to the age of Aquarius, which we will not see in our lifetimes. We are completing the end of the age of Pisces and transitioning into the age of Aquarius. You, me, all of us alive right now, 2026, we chose the role of the midwife. What happens during a birth? It's bloody. People scream, people yell, there's a lot of contraction, there's a lot of pain, and then what happens? Literally the greatest miracle that ever could exist, right? So we are here to tip the scales for the light. So there's a forced fall timeline that most people will choose. The masses will choose this, right? And it's the forced fall where you allow fear to control your life and you allow instant gratification and being power hungry to control you. It's where you are a victim. And then there's the relentless rise. This is where the 1% of the 1%, this is where your leadership, your unicorn powers, your maverick, your vision, your mission, your health, wealth, happiness, freedom, like your artistry, your dreams. You've got to be in that relentless rise, okay? Where you decide that no, I'm being activated into my greatest power and absolutely fucking not. I will not repeat the fall of Atlantis. Come heaven or hell or high water or whatever kind of riddle you want to say, not on my watch, not in my life, not in this lifetime, not now. And you choose the relentless rise. What does it mean to be relentless? It means unconditional, no matter what. Relentless is very Mars, it's very Aries. It's like Aries is the ram. A ram has horns. It literally rams its head into shit until it gets it. And Aries is like it has a goal and it rams its head into the goal until the goal happens, right? So if you've been working on a goal and you've attempted 10 times and you failed 10 times, who cares? Keep going. If you have a goal and a dream and a vision on your heart, it's destined for you. One of the most unsexy, underrated, OG ways to win at anything in life is be the stubborn person that never quits. Yes, innovate. Yes, adapt. Yes, try new things. However, just people say, how do I become unstoppable? Well, you just decide to never stop. It's very simple, right? Simple, not easy. Relentless rise, okay? So in the context of 2026, this is really accelerating with AI. It's going to get even faster and more extreme as April 2026 opens up, as Uranus shifts into Gemini, which is very, very quick. I keep calling it the tornado of chaos, the tornado of shock, upheaval, change, and revolution, because Gemini is mutable air. Air is already a quick sign, and mutable is the change making mode of every single element. So it's really, really quick. Uranus and Taurus since 2018 has been shock, upheaval, change, and revolution in wealth, in worth, in the body, in the food system, in Mother Earth, but it's been in fixed Earth. So the changes have been extreme. They've been seismic. They've also been slower because it's a fixed energy. With a mutable energy and an air sign, it's going to go a lot quicker. People think AI is accelerating at a rapid clip. Wait till April 2025, 2020, April 25th, and then it's going that acceleration all the way till 2033. So the way that you're going to choose the relentless rise and not the forced fall, by the way, there are powers at B and there are energies at B. There's spiritual warfare happening in the energetic plane right now. So if you're noticing a lot of emotion coming up, if you're noticing like negative thought patterns coming up, like everything in the news, everything on the global stage, all of these things being exposed, like there's a reason why choosing the path of the light is challenging. That's because there are other forces that are trying to force the dark timeline, trying to force the timeline of evil, of the opposite vibration of creator, which is fear, lack, scarcity, darkness, confusion, separation. Okay. So if you have a lot coming up and you have a lot of fear coming up, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not doing anything wrong. This is what makes it a choice. It's a choice point. Are you going to choose fear or are you going to choose the light? And the way that you choose the light is through my trifecta of transformation, healing, knowledge, and skill. Healing, you got to start with the bedrock of healing through nervous system reset, not regulation, not, oh, I'm on my healing journey and you never actually take any new action. It is deep, alchemical, visceral, consistent healing. Then knowledge. On top of that, we get knowledge about the energy, right? A lot of this podcast is based in knowledge, right? Most people focus on knowledge, they never do the healing, and then they never do the skill. Knowledge alone. Any of these three on its own, or just two of them, will not give you the pathway to relentless rise during this Atlantis activation. It's only when we have all three. The third one is skill. Healing is not a skill set. Knowledge is not a skill set. Being worthy and loving yourself, I would argue it's not a skill set, it's an embodiment. A skill set is what are the tangible things that I've got to get really, really good at to make this happen. This is where the mystery school training inside New Earth Elite comes into play. It's like, okay, flow state on command. What is your craft? Have you mastered your craft? Can you manifest unconditionally? Right? Like all of these things are skill sets. So right now, it's really about stepping into your role in New Earth Elite and a better world in a visceral, more extreme way than ever, and doing it with joy and magic and play and curiosity. Like, is it an extreme time? Is it an intense time? Yes. And play. Go to my episode called The Frequency That Manifests Everything. Staying in your play, staying in your inner child, staying in your joy, staying in that frequency of curiosity and what if, and being available for life to escalate quickly in your favor every single day, all day. The amount of darkness happening on our planet is directly mirrored with the amount of light being exposed on our planet. So, staying in this frequency of joy as you build your mission and choose the relentless rise again and again and again, and just be aware that there's a forced fall that's trying to happen, because when we are scared we are more easily manipulated. We will go along with whatever, is what propaganda is being spread around, and there's a lot of chaos and distraction and doom scrolling. If you are scrolling, you are automatically in the forced fall automatically, because you are disassociated, you are not present, you are out of your body, you are being programmed and hijacked um, to live in fear. The most important thing you will do is master using your phone for good and not letting it use you, right? It's time to step into the role model mindset. 2026 is giving 2020 on crack vibes. And I'm going to do another podcast about the seismic shifts that are happening in spring 2026, because I feel really called to share about it and teach about it. This is so important. This is what's going on right now. And if you feel this message in your body, if you're getting goosebumps, if you're like, oh my God, I know I was in Atlantis, I know exactly what she's talking about, I'm feeling this visceral fear and visceral power at the exact same time, you are being called to Atlantis, to Greece Atlantis, the retreat, the soul pilgrimage, the activation. Because what we're doing on that land is we are reclaiming those soul memories through our DNA and rewriting history for ourselves through our DNA. Reclaiming those timelines, reclaiming the magic, reclaiming and deciding, no, we're not doing a forced fall. And there's certain things that can only happen on that sacred land. There's certain things that can only happen in person. Everything I experienced in my time in LA, it could only happen in person. It can only happen when I'm in the room with these specific people, with this specific intention, on this specific land. There's a lot coming out about Hollywood and blah blah blah, the Epstein files, which I'm really not going to get into because it all is a distraction. It's not about bypassing. It's not that it's not real. It's that, first of all, it's not new information. If you are tapped into your intuition as an oracle, I have known about this for a decade. I've had several clients with lived experience that were never believed. This just goes to show, LA is also the city of angels, right? The amount of light that exists in that place, and it's different for different people. For me, it's very visceral. I think because I have a lot of angel coding and just the soul pad and network that I have there, but it's like there's a lot of darkness being exposed that happens around there, which by the way, it happens literally everywhere around the world. There's also an incredible, incredible, incredible extreme amount of light, right? So for the Greece Atlantis activation, we are gathering on the islands in joy, in adventure, in play, in shamanic transformation, in deep soul alchemy and community and network. And we are reclaiming these timelines so that we do not do the forced fall and that we choose the relentless rise. And it's for you if you are a leader. And it's for you if you're getting full body chills and goosebumps where you're like, yes, I lived in Atlantis. Yes, I'm feeling this. I feel called to the islands. I feel called to rewrite the script. We're going to be doing breath work. We're going to be going to different sites in the ocean, on the land, doing ritual, doing ceremony, doing grid work, doing ley line work. If you want more information on Greece specifically, I have an episode that I channeled in Greece on Crete last summer. It's called What Greece is Teaching Me. And that's when I launched my first retreat in the islands. There's so much abundance of information there about what's going to be occurring. If you feel this call during this Atlantis activation, come to Greece. Join us in Greece. Like we are going to be going deep in this in person. What happens in person is we collapse time. And you do what most people attempt to do in their whole life, we do in 6 days. Like you come one person, you leave another person. Total identity shift, total life trajectory shift. You come to change. You come for the up level, baby. So if this is you, go to the link in the show notes and apply. Like I said, there are 8 spots. And if you are also feeling like, oh my God, like I want one-on-one mentorship and support in all of this, first of all, you can combine one-on-one with the Greece Atlantis activation. I actually highly recommend it. And I do a special like VIP bundle for all of my clients that are doing that. If you want to start now with me in one-on-one Lux mentorship, go apply through the link in the show notes. I will look at your chart. I will say, okay, this is how it's activating you. We will do breath work. I will look at your past lives. We will look at your soul mission, activating your high performance. We'll get your health on lock because if your vitality is not on point during all of this, you will not be able to access your highest power, your highest gifts, and serve the collective, live your dreams, manifest all of your desires and make a positive ripple on the world. So this is what's happening with the Atlantis activation. This time is really, really important. It's really, really exciting because we have a golden opportunity to rewrite history for humanity. No more falls of civilizations because we said, no, not again. So as you're being activated in this deep fear and deep power at the same time, you must choose the relentless rise again and again and again and again and again. And this network, the spaces I hold in New Earth Elite are the unicorn, one of a kind bespoke spaces to keep you in the zone of greatness, literally no matter what happens, because it's only going to accelerate from here. So I hope this served you. I hope this shed some light onto what's going on. I would love to hear how this landed for you. If you feel like, oh my God, yeah, I definitely resonate with this activation right now. Um, maybe some like past life stuff coming up for you. Share this with someone you love who's also on the spiritual path. Maybe they're experiencing some challenge. Maybe they're experiencing just a new era they're being called into. I guarantee it has to do with this Atlantis activation, like hands down, because it's hitting everyone. People who are quote unquote not spiritual or quote unquote not leaders, like it's literally hitting everyone. It's just, are you using your free will to choose the realm of miracles and abundance and unconditional love where we break the cycle, aka the relentless rise? Or are you spiraling into darkness and chaos and distraction and power hungry technology like most of the collective will? Okay, we have an incredibly exciting job um, in shifting this timeline. So, that is today's episode. I love you so much. If you feel called to Greece Atlantis in June, if you feel called to one-on-one Lux mentorship, go to the link in the show notes and apply. Like, I literally am so excited. I cannot wait to welcome you, the correct unicorn souls, into these unicorn spaces of transformation. I believe in you. I believe in a better world. Go make a stranger smile. You literally have no idea what people are going through, and you can be the reason they believe in life again. So be the change, be the light, be the real you. Apply through the link in the show notes if you feel called to Greece or one-on-one. And I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne. Let's rewrite the script, rewrite history, shall we?